Hello everyone, my name is Aline, I come from Brazil and I am really happy to be here and being able to talk a little bit about my experience when I was a volunteer with ICYE. I did their program from August 2010 to August 2011 in London, UK, and I worked as a full-time volunteer for a charity called Outward, which provides support for people with learning disabilities. So the first memory that comes to my mind when I think about this year as a volunteer was an afternoon when I was coming back from singing and drama classes with one of my service users. She has speech impairments, so at the beginning it was really hard to talk to her and to connect with her as well. But that day we were coming back from the class, we left the bus and walking from the bus stop towards her house, and I started singing True Colors from Cyndi Lauper, which has a very beautiful and empowering message. And to my surprise, she started to sing with me in her own way, and she gave me such a beautiful smile, which was not so easy to get from her. And we had this, I don't know, this very special connection at that moment. And it was, I don't know, it was just so special that that scene was stuck in my mind, and every time when I think about that time, when I think about the difficulties also that I had, because it was not roses all the time, there were challenges on the way, I think about that scene and makes everything worth it. It was a very special moment. I decided to volunteer for a number of reasons. I can say that the first and maybe main reason that took me to London was my dream to live abroad. I always wanted to do that since I was a child. So in order to improve my English and be able to be fluent by experiencing the language every day 24/7. But I could have done that by taking English courses, for example, or enrolling in a master program, because I just finished my bachelor at the time. But that was not what I wanted. I wanted to have this experience abroad combined with something else, with a human experience, life experience. And volunteering was I think the best option for me, because it allowed me to combine these two things and allow me to experience people and to connect with the city, to the community. So it was a complete package for me. Well, I have a bunch of funny stories from that year, but there is one story that, even when I think about it, I can remember how absurd it sounded to me at the time, and how incredible it was to have had that experience. I was in a pub, well, it had to be in a pub, in England, and I was there alone, which is something that I find amazing. In London, at least, that you can just go to a pub alone and nobody will think that you were a loner, a weirdo, and people are going to come and talk to you. And that's what happened. A guy came, mid-40s, something like that. He came and started talking to me, asked me where I was from. Oh, Brazil, cool. I know Brazilians, and I met a Brazilian in Cambridge, and I do forró classes. Forró is a kind of Brazilian dance, Brazilian rhythm. And we started talking. He had some other friends around, so yeah, it was a very nice evening out. And then he told me, oh, you can add me on Facebook. Great, I did when I was at home. And then I checked his profession and I read priest. I said, what? Priest? I had beer and I danced with a priest? I'm a sinner. Oh my God, how is that possible? And then I realized that he was a priest from the Church of England. And then I read a little bit about it, and I knew that they're able to marry. He had a wife and 3 or 4 kids. Now, it doesn't come exactly to my mind. So it was kind of a shock, but also a very interesting discovery for me. And we became friends. I went with him and his wife to forró classes, and we went out for a picnic with his kids. And yeah, so I was friends with a priest. No other story can beat that. So my year was also made of challenges, many of them actually. One of the greatest was the fact that I was away from home. It was the first time that I did that, so being apart from my family and friends in Brazil, in this totally new and strange country, although I always wanted to do that, it was also very difficult to adapt to that situation. So it took me good 4 months, I would say, to really arrive in England and feel 100% there. And also with my service users, it was not always easy. I had some challenging moments, but I can say that these challenges at work and also my personal challenges, they were responsible for a big part of how amazing this experience was, because I learned so much, I grew so much. So I wouldn't change anything that happened. Even the difficulties and the challenges were important part of this experience, for sure. Well, my year in England was a huge turning point for me. Very positive one. I used to say when I arrived in Brazil that I was Aline before England and Aline after England. And it was a very important step on a road that I was already taking towards self-discovery and how can I say that? Self-betterment, something like this. And so it changed everything. During London, I allow my hair to grow naturally, which, well, I don't know if you guys will understand the meaning of that, but to me it was like externalizing the changes that were happening inside of me. And during this year, I was able to, appreciate myself better and feel better in my own skin. Something that London helped a lot, because people over there, they are so laid back in that sense. You can dress wherever you want to dress. You can use your hair the way you want to. You have this freedom. You don't have the feeling that people are always judging you or expecting something from you. So it was liberating for me. And the experience in itself, the volunteering, well, being with the other volunteers and being in the city and having this amazing opportunity to be in such an international place with people from all over the world and speaking English all the time, all that made me grow so much. So it was, yeah, life-changing. So volunteering abroad with ICYE not only made me more resilient, more open and eager to discover more about myself and the world, it also changed the course of my life in a very deep way that I could have never imagined at the time. Because at the arrival camp, so the first week when I was in England, I met the man that later on became my husband. I met Vanya. I think on the second day, we became very good friends and, well, we shared this year together. And then he went to Brazil to visit me. We started dating. We had a long distance relationship for a while. He went to Brazil, lived with me, and then we decided to get married, something that I never expected. I never really thought about for my life. And, well, ICYE sort of brought me to the altar. And yeah, it changed everything for me, not just because I got married, but because I came back to Europe. I live in Germany now, already for 2.5 years. But it was not only the marriage that brought me here. I was actually eager to come back and live here again. I can relate to the European mindset. I missed living in this more intercultural, international environment. I come from São Paulo, which is a very cosmopolitan city, but still here you are more in contact with many languages all the time. And I live in Bonn, nearby Cologne, which is a UN city, so there are people from all over the world. So yeah, it changed everything, and I will be forever grateful for ICYE, for everything that it gave me personally and for opening this new path in my life. Well, I'm happy to say that This experience as a volunteer abroad was one of the best decisions that I made in my whole life. And when I went back to Brazil, I wanted to inspire everyone to do the same. And I was happy to see that 3 friends of mine actually took part in the program with ICYE UK. I could follow their developments, we could share our experiences, and they could also inspire other people as well. So if you're considering improving your language skills, having international experience, but not only that, if you want to have life experience the other, another culture, diving into it and learning more about yourself and the world, I can say do invest in a social and cultural exchange program because it can only be life-changing for you as well. Volunteering made me stronger, more conscious about myself and the world, and more human.